Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Good afternoon, everyone. Or at least it's afternoon here in Chicago. It's 1:36 p.m. here right now. No, I didn't get robbed. No one stole my TV. Actually put it down earlier this weekend because I'm moving and I'm selling pretty much all my possessions. Welcome to another daily live stream. Today is Monday, August 11th, 2025. Today is day 645 of my fasting journey, my health and wellness journey. Being happy and healthy is my ultimate goal, and that's what I try to share with you all while I'm here. But before I begin, Mrs. Angeles, put on the tiara. Adeline, Babita, Shauna, Infidel, Juice, Tanisha, Aisha, BMJ, hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting as always. This isn't as scripted, that's not the word. Usually I do prep work before I do my live streams, but I am on a very busy timeline today. I don't know how I have a hard stop probably at around, I would say 2:30. So we have about an hour. So we should be able to do this fine. But I'm here to share my accountability on a daily basis. My hope for you is if this is motivating, if this is inspiring for you, that you share what your accountability is like. Whether good, whether bad, we show up, right? That's, to me, I feel like that is the teaching point, is we can show up for ourselves when we're doing well, but can you show up for yourself when you are struggling, when you're having a difficult time? Can you show up for yourself and for others even when times are tough? And really, if you think about it, this applies to more than just your health and wellness journey. Showing up, you can apply that to many things in life. I've noticed that for myself on days when I don't feel like doing something, on days when I really don't want to take care of something. Sometimes I'll push a little harder and it's like, just get it done, just get it over with. You're not going to have to worry about it later. You're going to get it out of the way now. And in a way, that's really helpful. So with that being said, and I've seen it in the comments, I see it here, people talking about what their journey is looking like, how things are going. And it's nice to see. It really helps me too. It's inspiring for me. Yesterday, I did my Sunday evening live stream, and I did that after eating 7,500 plus calories. Those are moments I typically don't want to be in front of the camera because I'm bloated. I feel tight in my clothes because I ate a certain way. I don't really want to show up in a way that I typically would on a day that I'm leaner. But I know that if I do show up, that's how I learn about myself. That's how I figure things out. That's how I continue to grow. That's how it continues to stay motivating for me. Sometimes people ask me, Jerome, how are you doing these fasts? How can you keep doing it like this? Accountability, because I'm showing up, practicing imperfect consistency, reminding myself that these days don't have to be the most grueling, the most torturous. They don't have to be perfect in the way that I initially thought they used to be. Instead, giving myself grace gives me the opportunity to show up for myself and for others more so than just trying to do 8 million things at once in a short burst and then getting burnt out and then never showing up again. This accountability for me is the reason that I have been doing so well over the last, it's almost 3 weeks now. And one of the reasons I've been doing these daily lives is because I started to slip up. I started to lose accountability. I wasn't showing up on the hard days. I felt very overwhelmed and I felt like too many things were going on for me that I started to stress eat and overeat and mindlessly eat until it came to the point where I ended up binge eating 2 days in a row when I hadn't done so in over 600 days. A lot of that has changed since. Since I gained the 30 pounds a couple weeks ago, I have been on a mission to get back into my fasting regimen. I have been performing fast after fast after fast, doing ADF after ADF after ADF, continuing to lose weight every round of ADF on the way. 2 days ago, was it 2 days ago? I can't remember the date right now. I don't know if I have it on here on my sheet. I do. So on the 9th, yes, 2 days ago, I hit my lowest weight, getting down to 148.4, I believe, but that'll be the next slide. In 18 days, I lost 21.2 pounds of the 30 pounds that I gained. These swings of weight, it's not what I want to happen, but they happen every now and then because that's just how my life is. My goal is to get better reins on that as I continue on my journey. Currently, I'm 37 plus hours fasted. Usually, I break around the 44-hour mark. As you see here in the last 18 days, on average, I've been fasting for about 44 hours. I've completed 9 rounds of ADF, but today's a little different. Today would normally be my break day. Today, normally, I would be finishing up a 44-hour fast, even though I'm 37-ish hours in right now. On a typical ADF day, I would be breaking later this evening, but not tonight. Tonight, I'm pushing another full day of fasting. I'm actually pushing a 90-hour fast this time around. Actually, an 89-hour, but it'll probably be longer than that anyway because of the timing. Why? Because I had a 7,500 calorie refeed day on Saturday, 2 days ago. It was my choice to put a prolonged fast under me. It was my choice to eat the way I ate, and I'm okay with that. I put the plan and the strategy together, and I'm abiding by it right now. Whether it's successful or not, I know that I will still continue to show up. I don't want to look at it as just pure success and pure failure, because let's say I break right now even. I should still take pride in the fact that I've gone 37 plus hours. Yes, maybe my goal was to do a 90-hour fast, but it doesn't mean that I give up everything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I eat better. Maybe I put more cardio in. Maybe I get more strength training in because I broke earlier than expected. But no part of this means anymore that I'm just going to throw the towel in and say, well, let's start over. You'll see here, after every round of ADF, I have, for the most part, lost weight, getting to 148.4 pounds 2 days ago, the lowest weight I've been in over 3 weeks. Carnivorous Teacher asks, are you planning to ease back into ADF when you finish the 90-hour fast? So I'm doing exactly that. It's not even easing into it. It's pretty much when I finish my 90-hour fast on Wednesday night, Wednesday evening, when I finish that 90-hour fast, I'm going to refeed. I'm going to keep my calories at around 3,000 calories like I normally have. I'm going to keep my protein at around 190 grams of protein. And then I'm going to go right back into ADF again and continue my journey to keep losing excess fat and building muscle. That is my goal. That is ultimately like what I want to do and continue doing until I get to my goal weight or when I'm happy with where I'm at body wise. I guess that's the best way to put it. But that's a good question. Definitely a good question. So, like I said, I had a 7,500 calorie refeed 2 days ago. And you can see not only was it a 7,500 calorie refeed, again, that shouldn't say 7.6, that should say 7.5. But I also had an 11-hour refeed. It was, I believe, 10 hours and 30, actually I have it here, 10 hours and 48 minutes. A very long refeed, which allows me to eat more. That's what happens when I keep my timer running that long during a refeed, which is why it's very important to me to still continue to hit my timer and make sure that I'm either fasting or feasting. Because if I keep the window open for so long, it just invites the opportunity, at least for me, to say, well, you're still refeeding, so you might as well. You might as well, you might as well, you might as well. With the 7,500 calories that I refed with, it pushed my weight up, right? Normally, I gain anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 pounds per refeed. I said this yesterday, but after I refed 7,500 calories on Saturday, yesterday on the 10th of August, I gained 7 pounds. 7 pounds. That is a big jump of weight after a refeed. But it's also not surprising for me because I ate 7,500 calories. If I'm normally gaining 2.5 to 3.5 pounds after eating 3,000 calories, gaining 7 pounds after eating 7,500 calories over an 11-hour span is definitely going to push that weight up. Now, here's the thing. So yesterday, when I weighed in 7 pounds heavier after my refeed, or at least it was maybe 10 hours after the refeed because I refed, I went to sleep, I got up, I weighed. Where is that weight today? Because, like I said, I'm 37 hours fasted right now. I am well over a day and a half fasted. I've completed already an ADF, and I'm still going to keep pushing and weigh it in again tomorrow. But let's talk about that, right? On the 9th of August, 2 days ago, I was 148.4 pounds. The next day, after having my quote unquote 20% day, I gained 7 pounds, right? 7 plus pounds after a refeed. And then today, this morning, when I weighed in at 5:30, when I woke up, I was 150.6 pounds after 30 hours of fasting. Of the 7 pounds I've gained, I'm already down 4.8 of those pounds after a 30-hour fast. I will continue to bring this up to all of you so that you understand that this weight is going to fluctuate. It is going to go up and down. When I eat the way I do, I didn't gain 7 pounds of fat. I know I don't gain 2.5 or 3.5 pounds of fat on the scale. Most of that is water weight. There is waste when you look at the scale. Actually, as I'm like looking at comments, Andre's right. There's a lot of water retention when it comes to that. One of the things that's important to remember, right, is for every gram of carb that you eat, it will add on about 3 to 4 grams of water. So there's a lot of water that's going in. When you watched me eat my refeed yesterday and you saw me eat that big plate of rice, multiple plates of rice, when you saw me eat Filipino spaghetti, when you saw me eat that gigantic chicken bowl at Chipotle with double chicken, when you saw me eat that red velvet cake, when you saw me eat those Twinkies with Twix bars inside them. So, of course, I didn't gain 7 pounds of fat. Obviously, there is going to be fat added because of the volume, the number of calories I've eaten, but it isn't all fat. And look how quickly it drops off. I gained 7 pounds. This morning, I weighed in after 30 hours on the scale or after 30 hours fasted, and I'm down nearly 5 of those 7 pounds that I put on. And what I love about this, and if you look at the notes here, the last line, I'm 2.2 pounds away from the last lowest weight, which was 2 days ago, to getting back to 148.4. I'm fasting all day today, which means tomorrow, when I step on the scale, that number should drop even lower. Now, what if it goes up? If it goes up, it goes up. I can't control the scale. If it goes up, does that mean that I'm just going to give up? If it goes up, does that mean that, well, I should just break then? Because what's the point? What's the point if the scale is just going to push itself up? That is that headspace that many of us get into. And it's really important that you understand that you don't have to go that route. Even if the weight pushes itself up tomorrow, that isn't going to change my plan, my strategy. I'm going to continue to fast. I'm going to continue to work out. And today, for example, I woke up at 5:30 this morning. I weighed on the scale. I was like, oh man, I'm down almost 5 pounds. As soon as I got off the scale, I went out the door, went for a walk, took care of my shit. I said this yesterday, but because I'm doing an extended fast, because normally I lift weights every other day. Today would be my eating day typically, and just a walk. And then tomorrow I would take all those calories I ate in the evening and I would use them to lift weights the next day. But because I'm not eating today and doing a prolonged fast, I'm taking it easy. There's going to be no lifting weights tomorrow when I typically would. And then, of course, I won't be lifting weights on Wednesday either as I complete my 90-hour fast. It's a good time for me to take time away from lifting because I've been doing that for the last 18 days, pretty heavy. And it's a good way to do something different. Doing a prolonged fast, taking some time away from lifting weights, and just focusing on my walks and getting other shit done. This is also the way I look at it. This is to also show you that there doesn't have to be a specific rhythm or cadence into doing this. Yes, of course, I've been doing ADF a lot, and it has been pretty much on repeat at this point. But you see, I had a 7,500 calorie day. Now I'm doing an extended fast. Now I'm just focusing on cardio, right? I'm switching things up because I'm making the journey work for me. I'm figuring out and putting a plan together and strategizing what works for me. The same goes for you. Many of you think, I have to do 72s. I have to do 90s. I have to do week-long fasts over and over and over because I saw Jerome do rolling 90s and he did it for 5 months and look where he's at, which I get. I understand that. But you're not me. You're not eating 6,000, 7,000 calories like I did then. So why does that mean you should be fasting for that long too? I did it for a reason. I did it because I could sustain it. I did it because of the way I ate so much calories. And look at where I'm at today, doing rolling ADFs, right? Nobody told me to do it. I've done this because it's taken time for me to adjust and figure out and learn to eat better and learn to limit calories. I am always tweaking and optimizing. I am always trying to do what I can to stay happy and healthy. And the same goes to all of you. It's the same goal. Yes, fasting is the core. It's my core. It's what I'm good at doing. And if it works for you, push along, keep doing it. But don't forget about your other weight loss levers. You need to work on eventually making sure that when you refeed, you eat better or you keep the time down. If it's hard for you to stay in control of your calories throughout the day. It's about making better food choices. It's about making sure you incorporate cardio and strength training in your routine. It's making sure you have a good nighttime routine and you're sleeping well. Oh man, last night I went to bed at, it was right around 10 p.m. I kept the AC at its lowest at like 65. I had the blanket over me. I think it was right at 10 when I fell asleep. And I just naturally woke up at like 5:20 something. And it was glorious because it was like I didn't wake up at all. It was just a straight night of sleep. It felt really good. Hopefully it gave me enough to rest and recover and work on, because I pushed pretty heavy weightlifting yesterday because I knew I wasn't going to be lifting for the next couple of days. And again, right, this is me really optimizing what I can for myself. I'm not going to lie, it was really nice to see the weight push itself down today, but I also know it doesn't mean everything. It doesn't mean that my value is better because of that. I know I say that a lot, but I do mean it. But I'm not going to lie, it is nice to see the scale push itself down. My hope tomorrow is that I will be under 150 pounds. My hope tomorrow is I'll break back into the 140s. Again, today I weighed in at 150.6 pounds. It would be awesome to be in the 140s, but if not, it is what it is. Because tomorrow I'm fasting all day as well. And then I'm doing a weigh-in on Wednesday. Will I be lower than where I was at before my 20% day? I don't know. I'm not sure. But even if I'm not, that doesn't change a thing. I'm going to do this 90-hour fast. I'm going to refeed and eat as clean as I can, keep my calories in check, keep my protein up, and then get right back into ADF. Because I know that I was continuing to lose weight on ADF. And the only reason I put this 90-hour fast in here right now is because I'm trying to offset all the calories I ate on Saturday. People might watch this. People might have this thought in their head that says, well, why did you eat that way anyway on Saturday? Why couldn't you have just eaten less calories and eaten better so then you wouldn't have to do this 90-hour fast? The answer to that is I wanted to eat this way. I wanted to enjoy my time. I wanted to be with friends and family and enjoy things. And I literally spent the last 18 days doing 9 rounds of ADF. And this is my 20% day. This is me telling myself, don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy the time. On top of that, I don't have to do a 90-hour fast. I could do ADF after eating 7,500 calories. I could do ADF. I could limit my calories. And of course, I would start losing weight again. But it would take longer to get back to where I was before the 7,500 calorie refeed. So all I'm doing right now is just trying to keep the pace at an even state of where it was before I had my 20% day. You might disagree with that. You might say, well, I don't want to do that. Here's the great part about it. You don't have to. I am just showing all of you what my methodology is like, how I think about the way I do things, how you shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, but instead you should be finding what your strategy, what your game plan should entail, because that is how you find consistency. That is how you find sustainability when it comes to your journey. Lo-fi. Have I seen you here before? I don't know if I have. Lo-fi asks, is it okay to do a 2-day refeed and 1 meal a day for 5 days? So eating 2 days in a row and then doing 1 meal a day for 5 days? I mean, sure, why not? The real question is, if you're doing a 2-day refeed, are you keeping your calories in check to offset calories in, calories out? Doing one meal a day, 5 days, that's also good. But really, the question is, are you overeating on your one meal a day? The reason I am not doing one meal a day right now is because my refeeds are around 2,700 calories, sometimes 3,000. And I know if I were to eat 2,700 calories to 3,000 calories every day, I would start creeping up in weight because my body on average only burns about 2,300 calories a day. I'm not a big guy. I'm not tall. I'm in my mid 40s. My calorie burn with as much cardio as I'm giving myself, walking about 16,000 steps a day, I'm only burning about 2,300 calories probably on average. That's the real question for you. Yeah, you want to have, I mean, when you say, is it okay to do a 2-day refeed, are you saying eating 2 days in a row? I'm not exactly sure. The bigger question there, Lo-Fi, is are your calories out still outweighing your calories in? Are you still expending, using more calories than your body is taking in for the day? That's the best way that I can put it. This is something that might be important too for many of you who think about the whole calorie situation is when I eat more calories, I make sure that I take advantage of it. When I eat more calories, I lift heavy at the gym. When I eat more calories, sometimes I'll push the cardio a little longer. But as I am currently embarking on a 90-hour fast, as I am now getting into 37, 38 hours right now, and tomorrow when I update you all, when I am probably in 60 something hour territory, my energy output won't be the same. Yeah, I'll be walking, I'll put in some work doing that, but I'm not going to be going out there putting a ton of energy into doing things because I'm on a prolonged fast. And I know that, and I've set myself up for that. If you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I have energy, right? Then you don't have to fast for that long. What you have to do then is just make sure that the calories you're putting in give you enough energy, that they're nutrient dense, right? And that you're giving yourself at least a deficit to make sure you continue to lose weight on the scale. And did I cover pretty much what I wanted to cover? I did. I think the only thing I have here is because I like showing what my step average looks like. Yesterday, I walked about 16,000 steps. My average right now is around 16,000 as well. And I have been lifting weights every other day, but tomorrow, which would typically be a weightlifting day for me, that's not going to be happening because I am currently working on a prolonged fast. Why? Because I ate 7,500 calories. And because I ate so many more calories on Saturday, I told myself, if you're going to eat this way, you got to give yourself time away from food. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I think those are my notes. I think I shared everything I needed to. So at this time, I'll answer any questions that you might have. I don't really have much else to go over. So please feel free to ask questions if you have any. If not, I really need to get back to work anyway. But before I answer any questions, if there are any, if you are looking for help when it comes to weight loss, accountability, right? Keeping yourself in check with someone else. If you're looking for help when it comes to fasting, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. We can talk and have a conversation. We can put a plan and a strategy together. I can hold you accountable. I said this yesterday. I've said it many times. Accountability is something that you have to show up for. I can always hold you accountable, but I'm not going to come looking for you if you decide to not show up. I'm not going to come holding your hand when it comes to this. What you need to do is, whether good or bad, you come and show up and you have a discussion about it. I know how easy it is to just say, fuck it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with anything right now. All I want to do is eat and lay on my couch and watch TV and just forget about everything. I get it. That's me. If you watch the Sunday night live streams regularly, and for those who watch them regularly, and I didn't show up on Sundays, on the days that I typically should, if I didn't give any warning prior to not showing up on a Sunday, you know exactly why. That's how I would think. Those things happen to me. I'm not perfect, but my goal is to make sure that those things don't happen often, that I continue to show up even on the bad days. Just because I'm saying all of this doesn't mean that it will never happen again. Shit happens. It's okay. You're going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And I'm here to show that in real time so that you understand that I am practicing imperfect consistency, and I want to be an example to all of you. Finalyfasting.com if you're looking for help when it comes to that. You can check the website out too. There's merch on there if you're interested in it. But also, if you want to help support in a different way, if you want to be part of the Finally Fasting fam, there is a membership option here on YouTube. So you can find the link in the description. You can click the join button. I believe there might be a membership tab. I don't really know exactly what it looks like, but if you want to support in that way, that would be great. But there's also a tier there where you can sign up and you can be part of the autophagy group, where we have Wednesday night live streams, Wednesday night group coaching sessions. So if that's something you might be interested in, take a look. Okay. Oh, Aisha, there you go. This is a good question. No fit check today, Jerome? No, we're going to do fit check. I forgot. I totally forgot. Jordan even says it the same way. Fit check. Yes. I'm sorry. Let's do fit check, everyone. Totally forgot. Totally forgot. Baba, I see your question there. So I will answer that after fit check, but let's do fit check real quick. If you're curious about what fit check is like, that's literally where I show you what I physically look like. I did it yesterday after gaining 7 pounds after a refeed. Now I'm going to show you today what I look like 5 pounds down after gaining the 7 pounds. Yes, I've been an overweight person my entire life, my adolescent, my teenage years, and even up until my 40s. I'm 44 years old. I've been a big guy pretty much my entire life. And I've been able to lose this weight just through fasting and better eating habits and cardio. And time for fit check. This shirt right here is an extra large boy shirt. These shorts are extra small shorts. I used to wear a 38 size waist. Now I wear a size 28 waist, but even those, depending on how lean I am, are kind of big. If you're wondering why I wear such small clothes, that's because I'm short. I'm only 5'3". So front shot here, right? Side, rear, side. And you can see, right? I have extra fat right here. I mean, I have a compression shirt on. Actually, you can see my boxers are up here. Sometimes I pull my boxers higher. But I still have some fat to lose. I don't know how much fat I have to lose, but I'm just going to keep going until I get there. It's one of the reasons that I am always telling you to not just focus on what the number on the scale says, but also make it a priority to be mindful about adding muscle, about worrying more if you're losing fat off of you. It shows in non-scale victories about the way your clothes fit, about your energy, about if your blood sugars are in check, if your blood pressure is in check, because those are the things that really matter outside of just a number on the scale. People worry about, but if I lose this weight, I'm going to get loose skin. Would you rather have loose skin or have high blood sugar? Would you rather have loose skin or have high blood pressure? Would you rather have loose skin or worry about having a heart attack in the future? I'll tell you, when I used to binge every day, and as a diabetic for over 20 years, there were times when I would be laying in bed and I'd be wondering if I was going to have a heart attack, or where I would be when it happens, and is it going to be quick? And like those kinds of thoughts, man, they're awful. I the thought of that, having to I used to think about that a lot, especially when days were really bad, especially on my binging days. Sometimes I would be in this apartment even, and I would wonder if I had a heart attack and I just died, then people would eventually find me in here with all the filth of like food wrappers. And it was weird how that shit would go through my head. Like, I will say, I don't think about days like that anymore. And it's nice not to think that way. It's crazy how those things can be preventable. Those things you can get yourself out of. It just takes effort. It takes getting into better habits. It takes breaking old habits. That's fit check. That sounded so grim. Yes, I talk about loose skin because I do have loose skin. I have loose skin on my neck, right? I have loose skin on my upper arms, but like one of the reasons I like to lift weights is hopefully it kind of fills that in. But yeah, so let me see if there are any questions here. I know Baba had a question. Is it okay to eat whatever I want when I refeed? I need help. I'm 67 years old. Here's the thing. When I first started fasting, I ate whatever I wanted. And in a lot of ways, I still eat whatever I want, but it is a lot more controlled today. If you want to see what that looks like, all you have to do is go to the Refeed playlist on my YouTube channel, and you can see how I used to eat when I would refeed. Sometimes eating 6,000, 7,000 calories and eating a lot of fast food. But even when I first started recording what I used to eat, or you can watch my playlist called Break Fast, where I would show people that as well. I'm not saying that you have to be as mindful when you eat, but the real question is, of course, it's better to eat healthier. Of course, it's better to eat foods that are whole foods. It's better to eat foods that are not ultra processed, right? But I'm also telling you that if you're having a hard time right now just controlling, then maybe that's where you begin, is start making small steps to break bad habits. This is a longer conversation because I feel like this is something that requires more of an explanation of how you're currently eating, how many calories you're eating, how often does this happen? Are you emotionally eating? There's a lot that probably needs to be uncovered when it comes to that. You can eat whatever you want, but if you're still eating more than you are fasting, then you are taking time away from food, then there's an issue there. And if you're not eating healthy at all ever, then that's another issue on top of it. Sometimes it starts with just breaking those habits. And of course, you can go completely 180 and eat the cleanest, which many of us do, and then realize this isn't sustainable. I don't want to eat like this every day. This fucking sucks, right? What I'm trying to teach people is, hey, there's a middle ground here, and it's okay to eat whatever you want every once in a while. And it's not new knowledge. We all know everything in moderation. But I think sometimes, I don't know if social media has put us in this place where eating in moderation is no longer a thing. It's like you can only eat this way and don't ever eat this. And that's not a fast. This is a fast. Fuck off. Not you, Baba, but hopefully that's helpful. You'll have to keep us posted on your progress. Thank you for the question. Put on the Tiara asks, do you weigh only in the morning or right before you break your fast? Only in the morning. I get up, I pee, or I go poop if I have to, and then I step on the scale like clockwork every day, no exception. I do it because it's a really good way to get a guide on where my weight goes. It's a good way to remind myself the weight on the scale is going to fluctuate. And sometimes it's just interesting to see how it moves up and down, how sometimes it'll still go up even after a fast. It's also a good reminder for myself that, okay, it went up, but it's not going to change what I'm doing. I'm doing a 48-hour fast, and I usually weigh in the morning, but my fast will end at 5 p.m. Thanks for all your help. I mean, for me, sometimes I'll step on the scale again later in the day just to get an idea, but that doesn't change my number. I weigh in the morning when I get up, and that's my number, and that's pretty much it. I think the only time it becomes an issue is if you become obsessed with the scale. If you step on the scale and then you start doing things like breaking your fast or overeating or binging because you don't like what the number shows. You know what I mean? If you start doing things that will negatively impact your health, then that's where it becomes more of an issue. Thank you for the question. Patty says, how do you figure out calories at a restaurant if they don't display it? I'm going out several times this week and a little nervous about it. So, Patty, this is a good question. This is no different than, and you know what? Let me see if I can just show this really quick. I don't know if you were here yesterday, Patty, when I showed my refeed video, but for example, let me show you my refeed video from yesterday, and I'll just give you an idea of how I do it. I saw this video. Oh, that's not what I want to show. I saw this video on YouTube. I can't remember when, but it was about how somebody roughly counts calories, and I thought it was a really good suggestion. So this video is from Saturday. I showed this yesterday, and I'm here eating 2 bananas, right? And when I'm eating those 2 bananas, I ask myself, I do something called the 250 rule. So this might be new for anyone who's here because I don't think I've talked about this before unless you've been in a coaching session with me and we've talked about this. I do this thing called the 250 rule where I look at these, I do things in increments of 250. I look at that banana and I'm like, is this banana 250 calories? And because I have eaten a lot of bananas and I weigh them, I look at it and I'm like, this is probably not even 250 calories, right? But what I do is to make things very easy. I look at these 2 bananas. I'm like, these are probably maybe 220, but to give the benefit of the doubt, 250, done, right? Now, here is me eating this plate of rice and sausage and meatballs, right? I don't know exactly how many calories this is or how much it is, right? Because I'm not weighing things out and it's a good amount of food. So again, the 250 rule. Is this 250 calories? No. Is this 500 calories? Nope. Is it 750? Maybe, right? And I have to look at my notes, but I either put this as 750 calories or 1,000 calories. And then I move on about my day. You might be watching this right now and you're like, but no, Jerome, it's fine, whatever you think it is. All I'm doing right now is giving myself a rough number of what I'm eating because I think it's better than just saying, hey, don't be mindful at all. Just snack all day and, don't care. This plate of spaghetti and meatballs, right? With still some rice on it or whatever. I don't know how many. But like I said, is it 250? No. Is it 500? Maybe it's 500. So put 500 down, move about your day. chips and guac, right? I don't know exactly. Maybe I put 500, maybe I put 750, but I kept it as simple as that. I'm just trying to get to the part where I eat that Twinkie, right? With a mini Twix inside and all that sugar in there, right? As you see, I did the exact same thing. I looked at that and I said, I don't know. I don't think this is 500, but it's most likely closer to 250. So I put 250. I ate 3 of them. I marked that down as 750. That's it. Hopefully that's helpful, Patty. I wouldn't worry so much about getting the number exact, because when you start thinking that way, then you get obsessive about it. If you're going out to eat, just give yourself a rough number. More likely than not, estimate a little higher. And then that way, then you have a guideline. You can step on the scale the next day. You can be like, yeah, that maybe makes sense. And then that's it. Because you know what? A week from now, a month from now, who's going to care what that number is? But at least in your head, you have an idea. At least in your head, in the way you live your life, you're being aware of what you're doing instead of just saying, because think about it. Old Jerome on that Saturday would have just kept eating all of those desserts without even thinking about how many calories, because back then I'd be like, well, it's my eating day. It's my 20% day. So eat whatever you want. It doesn't matter. This is the difference. This is me trying to do something that I typically don't do, but I'm doing it because it keeps me in check. It's the same reason I'm doing these live streams. It keeps me in check. It keeps me accountable. Hopefully that's helpful, Patty. Carnivorous Teacher asks, have you ever done a DEXA scan? I did. I did a DEXA scan back on November 6, 2024, after my journey of 1 year, because November 6th is my 1 year anniversary of starting my journey. So I did get a DEXA scan done. I went over it in detail on one of my live streams, but I'll probably talk about it again one day, because I will be doing another DEXA scan probably before I leave for the Philippines. When I did my DEXA scan November 6, 2024, which is now almost a year ago, I weighed in at 145 pounds. So I had gone from 220, got down to 145 when they did my DEXA scan. I was 110 or 111 pounds of lean tissue. And then I don't know how many pounds of fat, because some of it was also other, whatever that weight was. But they had me right at around like 19.8 or 19.9% body fat, which is average. My goal is to get less than that. I want to get down to maybe 15%, maybe 12%, right? I mean, I feel like I can lean out some more. But yes, I have had a DEXA scan done. Spike, how's it going? Do you have loose skin? Spike, get out of here. You know the answer to that. E. Michael says, are you no longer a diabetic? I no longer, if you were to take my blood sugar right now, it wouldn't register as a type 2 diabetic. Even though I was a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years, I am no longer one. I don't take any medication. I'm not on any kind of injections. I don't take Ozempic or anything like that. I've never had weight loss surgery. I have done all of this, lost the weight, reclaimed my health through fasting, through better eating, through diet and exercise. So, okay. Latrice says, hello, I'm so terrified of the scale. I think it makes me depressed. Latrice, the best answer to this is, if you're so terrified of the scale, don't mess with the scale. Don't fuck with the scale. If you're so terrified with the scale, look at your non-scale victories, right? Make sure that you're eating properly. Make sure that if you have clothes that don't fit well, keep them up. Wear them every week. Take a picture. See if they start to fit better over time. Latrice, you know this, other people know this, but you know what it takes to take care of yourself. You know that eating healthy is good for you. You know that taking time away from food is good for you. You know that sleeping well is good for you. It's about practicing those habits first, then worrying about what the number on the scale says. Now, there's probably more to it than that. This is probably not something that I can, even in a 25-minute coaching session, I know it's not something that gets fixed in one session. This is something that requires a longer conversation, and maybe something that, if you ever want to talk about in the future, I'd be happy to. But my quick advice to you is, if the scale is terrifying, if the scale is making you do things that you shouldn't be doing negatively that impacts your health, ditch the scale, right? Don't worry about it. Because if it's negatively impacting you, there's no point in using it. Use your non-scale victories, take measurements, right? Do other things to point out the good things that you're doing. Eating good on a day, taking things away from what you're eating during that day. Just making healthy choices already is a huge impact for many of us. Latrice, I feel for you. Keep us posted. Let us know. If there's anything you're going through along the way, I've been doing these every single day. So if I'm able to help in any way, I'd be happy to do so. Okay, everyone. I think that's it because I actually need to jump out of here and I need to get going. So thank you for stopping by today. I'm currently 30 plus hours fasted. I would show you, but my phone is charging at the moment because I need to dip out of here. But we're going to do this again tomorrow. Will I break into the 140s tomorrow while I'm 60 hours fasted? I don't know. We'll see. Chicano, you have a question. I need to hop out of here, but let me see if I can answer this real quick. Advice, please. Each time I fast by day 4, I get keto rash. By day 7, it itches so bad from the inside. I don't know what to do but to break my fast. Break your fast. Break your fast. Why are you fasting for 7 days? Why are you fasting for 4 days? I mean, yes, I fasted for that long, but I don't deal with anything like that. If you are dealing with that, maybe other people can answer that question for you. But my answer to anyone when they say, when I fast for this long, this happens. I can't sleep well. I feel irritated. I feel weak. Break your fast. Break your fast. By breaking your fast, that forces you then to eat better. By breaking your fast, that forces you to say, well, I ate calories. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go lift weights. I'm going to go do other things to work on my weight loss levers. If you are feeling sick, if you're feeling tired, if you're dealing with issues like that, just break your fast. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel ashamed, right? Just know that, okay, I don't know why this is happening right now, but if you notice it happens on day 4 at a certain hour, then cut it back by another hour. And maybe it's something that you build to, right? And you get better at. Hopefully that's helpful. I know it's not maybe the most detailed advice, but maybe the best advice I can give for somebody that hasn't really dealt with it before. Okay, everyone, that's it for me today. I really got to jump off. Let's do this again tomorrow. Will you show up? Will you be accountable? Will I lose more weight and break into the 140s? Only time will tell. All right, everyone. Thank you for stopping by today. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. As always, thank you for being here in chat. Thank you for being accountable. Thank you for showing up. Practice imperfect consistency. That matters more than anything else. All right. I'll see you soon.